Hey, my name is Michael, founder of Done For You Meetings, your choice for B2B prospecting. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how you can realistically 2x your agency revenue in 90 days. Now, if you have a really large agency already, this might be a little bit less practical to 2x, but you'll certainly see a pretty large increase. And if you are, say, under 10K, this is very realistic to double your revenue in 90 days. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Drop it.
So we have to look at what factors affect revenue. So there's 4 things that we're going to focus on. Now, that's not saying there's only 4 factors, but we're going to be focusing on these 4. First is the number of sales meetings. How many sales meetings are you taking weekly and monthly? Second is the close rate of those sales meetings. Of those meetings, how many are you actually going to turn into clients? The third is the average monthly client value. How much is a client worth each month? And last is retention. How long are you keeping a client? Are you keeping them for only 2 months, or do you have a 6-month or 1-year retention rate? So let's look at an example here. Let's say that right now you have 30 sales meetings each month. You're closing those meetings at 12%. Your average monthly client value is $1,500 and your retention rate is 4 months. So you keep people for 4 months. So 30 calls, 12% close rate. You're going to get 3.6 new clients. Obviously, if you look at this over a year, it won't actually be a 0.6. It will average out. So we have 3.6 clients times $1,500. We're getting $5,400 first month, and a total value over 4 months, which is the average you keep a client, is going to be $21,600. So what a lot of people do is they try to obsess over getting more calls or having the perfect close rate or charging way more, and all those things are good. But if you want to double your revenue, all you need is a 20% increase in each area, and it's going to really change things. So let's look at these numbers real quick. So if you're able to increase by 20%, you have 36 sales meetings a month, you're closing at 14.4%, you're charging $1,800 a month, and your retention rate goes up to 4.8 months. Again, 20% increase in each of these areas is very realistic, and it's a lot less than say, okay, let's double our sales calls or let's double our close rate. So you're going to have 36 calls, you're going to close at 14.4%, you're going to get 5.18 new clients. Again, 5.18 new clients times 1,800, you have $9,324 in revenue from month 1. And looking at your total 4.8 months of client retention, that's going to be $44,755. So if we were to compare these before 20% increase and after, it's complete night and day. We have initial revenue of $5,400, which turns into $9,324. Lifetime revenue of $21,600, which turns into lifetime revenue of $44,755. So you have more than doubled by that 20% increase. So why are we talking about 20% increase and not a 50% increase? 20% is generally possible. I could title this how to double your meetings or double your close rate. And maybe that's true for someone starting out, but established agency can't just see a 100% increase or 50% increase typically. 20% is a lot more realistic, and it's not just a vanity number. If you aim for 20% and you can do better, that's also fine. There's no harm in that. Even if you fail slightly at 20%, you get 15 or 10%, you're still going to see a significant gain. So how can you implement a 20% increase? I want to go ahead and give some examples on how to do this in all 4 of the areas we talked about: meetings, close rate, monthly value, and also retention. So number of sales meetings. One of the easiest ways to increase the number of meetings you take is increase your outreach by 20% or more. Obviously, you increase it more than 20%, even better. So increasing the actual volume, reaching out to more prospects every single month. Second would be setting up pre-meeting follow-ups for a higher show-up rate. If you could increase your show-up rate by 5 or 10%, that is a 5 or 10% increase in the deals you're going to close from booking. So setting up a pre-meeting follow-up sequence. Setting up a no-show sequence to recapture lost calls. When someone no-shows you, does it just end there? Or do you text them and email them and set another time? Again, you could recover 5-10%. Just between the pre-meeting and no-show, that could be a 10% increase right there. 4, start asking regularly for referrals from your current clients. If you're not asking for referrals, you can easily add an extra 2-3 calls a month, maybe even more if you have an established client base. So there's 4 ways you can increase your sales meetings. Now, close rate of sales meetings. 4 ways to do it here. Set up professional audio, video, and lighting for your calls. That might be a 5% increase right there if you go from having crappy lighting and audio to a proper setup. And I have been on some sales calls where I'm like, man, is this guy recording this in like a tin box? Like, you don't need a most professional thing, but at least a webcam and a background that doesn't look like just a professional background. Using a CRM to have multiple follow-up attempts to everyone you've talked to. This is probably going to be more than a 20% increase if you're not using a CRM, or if you're half-ass using a CRM, fully committing to actually using the CRM is going to be huge. Refining your sales script or process with an expert. So hiring a consultant or a friend and having them look over your sales script and looking for things that you can cut out or add. That might be a 5-10% increase there. And improve your proposal delivery system with quality and speed. So when someone talks to you, how long until they get a proposal? Is it 1 week, or is it going to be 12 hours when they're still interested? And also, how does that proposal look? You don't need to have the biggest bullet pointy thing ever, but does it cover the information needed? Does it list out the next steps? All these things are small, but can increase your close rate. Average monthly client value. You can add a setup fee. If you're not having a setup fee, add on a setup fee. This is one thing I did with my agency a couple of years ago. You can include a small admin fee or tech fee on a monthly basis. So maybe a $200 to $300 a month tech fee or admin fee. People generally don't complain about these. They're such a small amount proportional to the actual cost of the service, but they're really easy to tack on. You could set up a higher ticket pricing option and start pitching it. So if you're just pitching at $1,500 and $3,000, what about adding a $5,000 option, actually pitching that when it's the right fit? I see a lot of people where they have 3 price points and they only pitch the lowest one. Start pitching a higher amount. And fourth, which is my favorite, is simply charging more. If you're charging $1,000 a month, it's very unlikely people who say yes to $1,000 a month would not say yes to $1,200 or $1,300. So simply choosing to charge more. And lastly, you have retention rate. How long can you keep clients around? The best agencies I see are ones with awesome retention rates. They're able to do acquisition mediocre if their retention is amazing. Now imagine if you had great acquisition and great retention, you're going to do even better. So set extremely clear expectations when onboarding a client. This is huge, having an automated onboarding where you can have a video going, here's what's going to happen, here's the road bumps, but it's going to be okay, and you're going to expect this much time, et cetera, et cetera. So having really clear expectations, having a weekly or bi-weekly reporting process where the client can see that you are actually working for them and can see what's happening and they're not just left in the dark. So having that weekly or bi-weekly reporting. 3, do small things for your client. These are people after all, and they want to feel connected to you. Birthday messages, thank you messages, small gifts, maybe send them a book. Little things like this can increase your retention. Deliver better results. So better hires, work with a consultant, take a course. Obviously, at the end of the day, if you are getting somebody results, they're going to keep working with you. So even if you can improve your results by a bit, that's still going to help your retention by a bit, which compounded over 20, 30 clients, it's going to be really valuable. So there you have it. That is how I would go ahead and work on increasing my agency revenue by up to 2x in 90 days. All those things are pretty quick to implement. If you found this useful and you want even more training on how to do this, B2BOutbound.io is our training program on how to build a badass agency focused around acquisition. Or if you want somebody to actually go ahead and manage these campaigns to get more meetings for you with cold email, check out dfymeetings.com. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment any questions you have and drop a subscription for more content, which I put out on a weekly basis. Thanks and have a good one.